Hey everybody, good evening and welcome to The Hunt. We are filming live from Loft 100 Studios in sunny Southern California. It's great to be with you tonight. Again, we are with you every Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern for an hour. So thanks for being with us. I'm Trish. So I'm really excited to share with you something that I've been working on for quite some time now, and just really excited to share this story with you. My book, From Stuck to Unstoppable, is coming out June 20th, and I can't wait for all of you to read it. We'll have more information for you on our Instagram and on biztv.com, so please take a look for it, and if you have any thoughts or questions, please get in touch with us. It'd be great to have a conversation with you about it. Really excited. So, and it's a segue, from this, because it's such it's a topic that really applies to so many of us. We get in situations in life, as life happens, while we're making plans, where we do get stuck, and through a variety of reasons for that. And so there's a lot of different strategies to help us, through those processes, because we don't have to stay stuck. We do have a way out. So with that, I am so pleased to introduce to you our guest tonight. Her name is Lenita Anthony. She is an incredibly accomplished, I'll say badass woman, if I'm allowed to say that on TV. She is an exercise physiologist. She is a board certified health and wellness coach. I mean, the accolades go on and on. We're going to get into that with her right now. So Lenita Anthony, welcome to the show.
Hi, Trish.
Hi, how are you? Yes, it's such a pleasure to see you. It's been a while. I haven't seen you probably in about a year or so.
I think so. Maybe as long ago as last fall doing the CAF ride, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
well, you are absolutely extraordinary and just so inspiring. So let's just break down for our audience tonight just a little bit more about you. So can you just share a little bit about your background?
Sure.
Great.
I have been, I suppose, in the fitness and health world in one way, shape, or form for since my college days. So I just, as a teenager, honestly, kind of was really fortunate enough to kind of experience several things that influenced me that I just noticed such a dramatic difference in my own health at that age by becoming an active person, by starting to do simple things like watching what I was eating and, trying to fuel my body for the activities I was doing in a healthy way. So I just became very fascinated with human physiology and how we can impact it via our lifestyle. And so I got my master's degree in exercise science, applied exercise science, and ended up working in a hospital setting with a group of internists for the most part and some sports med docs, working with people with chronic disease and how we could actually treat them and help them mitigate their symptoms, improve their quality of life through lifestyle interventions such as diet, exercise, stress management, and just the positive and proactive things we could do to help their state of health outside of medications. So that kind of parlayed me into working with a healthier segment of the population, athletes and such, in a sports medicine clinic. And then I began actually doing education of fitness professionals with, directly working with some of these, what we would call special populations, people with, constraints, injuries, illness, chronic disease, but also the other end of the spectrum, the athlete who needs also a very carefully tailored program to provide the improvements they need. So that was kind of my focus in those years. In recent years, I've just come to realize how important our mindset really, really is, and how much it really is the part of us that is in charge of everything else. So that is kind of what drove me to get into health coaching and just really learning how to help people with the behavior change they really want to do, but haven't quite succeeded in implementing on their own, because there's some really, just effective strategies that I have learned about that I found extremely helpful. And just having a partner to work with you in some of those big changes is super helpful. So that's been really rewarding to do.
It's so incredible. I mean, to look at your, let's call it 3 decades, right?
Yeah.
Not to date, either of us, but I mean, that is just a long time of research and experience that, that you can't really compete with, and to be able to talk to people about the behavioral change. I think that's what I find so interesting about what you do, because you can see the tangible things maybe that are wrong with us, right? Like I have a limp or I have pain, but the 6 inches between our ears, that is really the most important thing to get a handle on, right? Because I'm sure.
No, you nailed it. I agree with that entirely. And we can have all the head knowledge about the what to do.
Right.
And we can know all the research. And this is what I came to realize after working with just all different types of clients. It's not usually the limiter, right? Is the information and the knowledge is not the limiting factor. Like you said, it's that space between our ears.
Yeah.
And we don't even necessarily recognize what our mindset is until we really sit down, and have someone who can kind of help us to evaluate that. And it's really rewarding to help people with that aspect of it. I really do.
No, I bet. And so, as you work with folks, are you ever surprised by anything in terms of, oh, this person's going to totally get it, they're going to want to see progress, but then maybe that person surprises you and is harder, to get going? I mean, any thoughts on that in terms of?
I am continually surprised.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because as a health coach, I'm not there to tell people what to do. I will be a resource when asked. And I'm fortunate to have those years of experience where I do have a deep knowledge of a variety of those fields. But what I'm there for is to really help them pull out of themselves what their values are, what their vision is for their health. And why? Why do they value that? What is meaningful to them? Because those are the things they're going to be motivated to go after. And even helping them to identify that and to state that and hear themselves saying it in their own words is empowering. And so what I'm always surprised by, I guess, is the goals that they do pick, and how well they work, and how incredible it is to watch small successes build to where then the confidence is there to take on a larger goal. And they sort of work in a chain reaction kind of fashion, where once a smaller goal is achieved, a person will be more inclined and more confident to set a larger goal, and so forth and so on.
That's so interesting, because you can.
Surprised by that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can take that concept and really apply it to anything, even beyond, wellness and fitness, right? I mean, so are you a believer that if you write your goals down, there's more accountability? I mean, do you get into all that psychology, with your clients?
We absolutely do. And again, it's really client driven. So I'm there to kind of pull that information out of them so that they understand it about themselves.
Yeah.
But we'll partner in that aspect of it. And whether they write them down or whether we just check in weekly and have accountability sessions together, and we will tweak and maybe redesign some of those goals as needed. But just having someone who's on your team, on your side, and checking in with you from time to time is really powerful.
Yeah, I bet. And do you really leave it up to the client to take the initiative, with you to make that change? So you're truly
what we know
a coach?
From the research on behavior change, it kind of has to be that in order for it to work. And I think back to my history working with some of these really ill patients, and I was a diabetes educator. I worked with a lot of people that had really severe type 2 diabetes, and I knew what they needed to do, and I could tell them what they needed to do. But if it didn't line up with their vision and what they truly valued, it was unlikely that those changes would be implemented in a long-lasting, sustainable way. So people will do it for a short term. But when you really get that long-term buy-in is when they realize and feel empowered that they are doing it themselves.
Yeah, for them.
And that they can do it themselves, and that they understand really well where they're headed. We try to kind of do a really broad assessment in the beginning so they can recognize where they're starting from. Then we define the destination. Where do they want to go and why? Why is it important to them? Why do they value it? What's it going to mean in their life? How is it going to change their day-to-day existence in a way that's positive?
Yeah.
And then we develop that roadmap through those series of smaller goals and action steps, really specific action steps that they can achieve. And
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
mean,
it just kind of builds.
it's honestly something, so simple but so brilliant at the same time. So,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
stay right there. We've got so much more to talk about. So, folks, we'll be right back. You're watching The Hunt. See you back in a minute.